Well, here's one for YouTube. I wasn't able to find anybody that could tell me how to make one of these. What I've got is four 240 volt lines out in the shop. And there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And everything's run off of extension cords, but this one here is not being used. So I need a 220 line on my CNC, which is out there, and it shares the extension cord between the table saw and itself. Well, I'm going to put this up on the wall behind the CNC, and that one there is now non-functional. Let me show you what I did. This is my main panel, my load center. You got a 200 amp line coming in right here, feeding the 200 amp breaker right there, and then of course it goes on to the circuit breakers to the house. Well, I ended up getting a 16,000 watt standby generator for $225, including the transfer switch, which is right here. Now it just so happens there's enough circuits on there to handle pretty much the entire house. So I'm in the process of moving the breakers from here to here. These are all dummies, they're not hooked up yet. I've got this one, and I'm doing this one right now. And what that comes from is I had those 4 circuits, 1, 2, which is missing, 3, and 4 lines going into the finishing room, and they go up that way and over there, and there's 3 of them there that go over there. And you notice one's missing because I chopped it off over there and yanked it out from up there and then shoved it in here, and this is it right here, and it's going to go on this breaker right here, and it only has to come down to right about there. Now there's an issue with the way this was done, and I think I can point it out pretty easily. This is a 12-2 wire, and you'll notice they're using the neutral as a hot line. That needs to have a red or a black stripe on it, as I have done with the neutral right there. And thought I had another one here. Oh, yeah, it's right there. That's the tie between the 2 panels. And then he's got a ground wire, a bare ground wire, going into the ground block, which also in the main distribution panel, the grounds and the neutrals are mixed together. I'm putting in a sub panel, and you cannot have the grounds and neutrals together. Grounds over here, neutrals over here. Missing a wire, apparently. I guess people get cheap. So in order for this to work, I'll take it apart here and get technical with a couple pieces of wire, and I'll set it up on my desk in there where we can explore how to do this correctly, including a ground, which these do not have. They count on the ground and the neutral being tied together for some reason. And that damn light's messing up the film. Alrighty, so anyhow, Let me back out of here, and I'll wire this up for you on the desk in the house. A couple of pieces of dummy wire, and you'll see what I'm talking about. In case you're curious, this is the generator I picked up for 250 bucks. It runs fine, puts out power. It had a battery explode, and a lady got scared of it, but it's not really been used. Let me grab a light. But it's an older model, but it is spotless in there. So anyhow, 250 bucks, including the transfer panel. I've got to run a wire in there. The 6 gauge, it puts out I believe 94 amps, and it's nice. I could not pass that up. Anyhow, I'm into it about 500 bucks. It's a $6,700 generator, and the funny thing is once you buy it, you got to pay another $7,000 to install it, and I just can't handle that. And there's some tricks. The way they're normally put in is with a transfer switch, and it takes the place of the main panel, and there's a 200 amp disconnect on that kind of thing, but the one I've got was made as a sub panel, so there's some issues about that. I couldn't use it as a main panel. There's permits, and the worst of all is inspections. So if you put it in as a sub panel, all you need is a permit. There's no inspection. So that's where it's going in back there. There's a gas line right next to that. When I built this house, I put it in for a barbecue. Who would ever thought it'd be one of those things? So who would ever thought I'd even have one? So that's what you might be curious. Alright, so this is where we left off. This is what we've got to deal with. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the neutral from this wire right here. Throw this guy on there. Never worked out well in the past. Usually end up with ring terminals, but I don't think that. Yeah, that's working. All right. There's a neutral. And this one will be the hot wire. Either one of those, I'm sure, not an issue. Yep. No, I don't know. That's tight. Now if it's just room underneath. back in there. Okay. So that'll sit in the box like that. We need this guy over here. I need this guy over here. And this, we've attached one end to our ground bar in the sub panel. Oh, ground bar? That means in the main sub panel, they have to be separated. So this is the main ground, and that gets screwed into the ground bar, not the neutral. So I'll go ahead and put this guy on. Hope I'm not drifting out of camera range too much. And this wire here gets fed through the conduit, wherever the main wire goes. It follows it all the way back as the fourth wire to circuit breaker. So we got a bulb here. That'll be this one. There it goes. Probably should have stripped a little more off of that one. Yeah, I'm gonna have to.
He told me he was getting.
Now let's try it. That ought to be worth something. That one's on there. And then the neutral goes goes on this side. Looks like it's going to be the same issue here. And there we have it. It will look like this in your circuit box. See here, got some better screws this time. See how they work. Some people like to put the faces upside down. Never understood that. I always grew up with the ground hole pointing down. And they point out, well, if it's in the kitchen and somebody dropped a knife behind the cord, it could contact the 2-inch. Yeah, well, don't drop a knife on it. How's that? I try to keep these centered when I tighten them down, and that way the cover fits fairly well. And center. Go that last little bit. That's not. one thing I did have to do is modify this box. This thing went all the way across, and the panel wouldn't lay flush. So now that's on there. It was flush on the ends, but this bar in the middle where the was causing it to ride up like that. So I just ran it through the router and chopped that part out, and now it fits flush. So, oops, wrong screw. So we've got it. A 240 volt outlet with a 120 volt, I don't want to call it a tap, but it's riding piggyback on that. And this 20 amps on the side, this 20 amps on one side, so I think we're good there. And 20 amp wire. So there it is. You'll probably see me test it out after a while. Depends on what I do with this video tonight, whether I post it now or I go out and hook it up and then put a meter on it and then show you actual proof that it works. That, or you can see my smoking body and the ambulance come because there's an explosion. So there it is for now, and I'll either be back with an update shortly, or this will be it. Well, there it is. That's how it's wired. That wire goes out, comes up through there, comes down. It's right here. And the round wire is over here. So, got our circuit breaker all wired in. Panel's dead. Neutral in there somewhere, but there we go. 110 and 220. I'll go ahead and button it up and put a meter on it, and we'll see what it gives us. Well, there it is. So now, turn the power on. That'd be that one. See if anything blows up. No, nothing blew up. Well, here is the breaker for this one. Nothing happens. Let me get my tester and see if that's hot. Okay. Check for 220. Little tool I made. Adapter plug. And a generator box. It's working. 120 volts on either side. Let's see here. Plug something into that other side and see if it works. Grab my light here. No, it's works. Yeah, that works. With this one. That works. That's some kind of tamper-proof socket or something. Jeez, that goes in hard. Okay. Well, as far as I'm concerned, that's fixed. So now we got the CMC, the air conditioning, and the dryer outlet, which handles 2 loads of the shop. So, need to change that wording. Looks like everything's good. I'm going to bed. Look at this mess. We're not even started yet. Catch you next time.